Just to try to stay focused. Don't never let anything you know what I mean, try to get you off your game plan. Maybe this is the devil or something. You know what I mean? Trying to
It's coming out publicly. So now, a lot of people have something to say. Will the fight still go on? I have no idea. You get what I'm saying? Lamont Roach, you might need to make contingency plans or whatever.
It's like, even if you want to give Gervonta the benefit of the doubt and say that he's innocent, when you got track record of 4 or 5 DV cases, all proven guilty, bro, it gets to a point.
Following his recent arrest, Gervonta Davis has finally spoken out, emphasizing a renewed commitment to his boxing career. However, his highly anticipated rematch with Lamont Roach now hangs in the balance. Uncertainty looms as fans question what lies ahead. While some argue that Davis's high profile makes him an easy target for accusations, the potential damage to his career is undeniable. Though details remain unconfirmed, the escalating controversy could derail the rematch altogether. If the situation deteriorates further, fans may be forced to come to terms with the possibility that the bout won't happen at all.
Right? So Tank is on probation for that. So this will be a violation of his probation, but he's a celebrity. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to get a slap on the wrist. He has money and stuff like that. Now, the question I have is this. You know, what's going to happen with the Lamont Roach rematch? Will that fight still go on? Do you get what I'm saying? Now, I don't expect Tank Davis fans to, you know, they're going to brush it off like it ain't nothing, because that's what they do. They literally, a lot of them worship this guy. So, and I get it, I understand. However, will that fight still go on? That's probably why we haven't heard anything. I was listening to Blue Blood Sports TV, but then when I was listening to his video, guess what? I'm finna show y'all something. Now, some of y'all may say, oh, this is nothing. There's a podcaster that I watch all the time by the name of Ticket TV. I watch a lot of the big podcasters, right? Podcasts, right? I want y'all to see something. Y'all see this right here. Let me show y'all this. As you can see right here, Ticket TV is talking about this. And the title is this: Breaking News, Boxing Superstar Gervonta Tank Davis arrested for beating up women, beating up woman.
Gervonta Davis's future in the ring is now uncertain as his ongoing legal issues threaten to disrupt planned showdowns with Jake Paul and Lamont Roach, though no official cancellations have been made. The mounting uncertainty has sparked concern among promoters, fans, and broadcasters alike. Major boxing events depend on precise timing, coordination, and momentum, and even minor legal troubles can throw that balance off. From contract negotiations to promotional efforts and training schedules, everything is meticulously planned. Any delay risks not only the financial stakes, but also the competitive integrity of these high-profile matchups.
This couldn't come at a worse time for Tank. Of course, he's chasing that rematch with Lamont Roach, and that big money Netflix fight with Paul. And this case could potentially cancel both of these fights. For the Roach rematch, it's just kind of being assumed that this fight is happening in mid-August. Everyone has seemed to acknowledge that it's happening, yet there's been no official announcement. Why has there been no official announcement? Well, maybe they were/are waiting to see what happens with the case. They have known that this was gonna probably come out for the last month, so maybe they were either bracing for impact or hoping it could be all sorted out. But we're now about a month out from the proposed rematch, and time is running out. Every day that goes by, it looks less and less likely, and the news today certainly won't instill any hope. Even if the rematch does happen, the conditions are about as bad as they can get for Tank. In what might be the highest pressure fight of his career, he won't have a complete camp and would have legal proceedings hanging over his head. Combine this with the fact that he seemed a bit rattled and emotional after the draw, it's either a combination for a great performance or a combination for an absolute train crash.
With each passing day, the likelihood of Gervonta Davis stepping into the ring as planned continues to diminish. The anticipated rematch with Lamont Roach carries emotional and competitive weight due to their unfinished business, while the potential bout with Jake Paul represents a major financial and promotional opportunity, appealing to both traditional boxing fans and a wider crossover audience. As uncertainty lingers, event organizers are being forced to prepare for every possibility, from postponements to outright cancellations. For Davis, the stakes go far beyond these individual fights. A delay could stall his career momentum, disrupt his rankings, and throw off his training rhythm. The entire boxing world is watching intently, hoping for resolution before these valuable opportunities vanish.
Absolute train crash. And Tank especially needed this rematch to be able to get that Jake Paul fight. The Jake fight was seemingly signed and sealed, and all he had to do was beat Roach. And after he didn't, it was pushed back until he could, with Jake in the meanwhile opting for Chavez. But Paul versus Tank is a fight that doesn't make too much sense on paper. But when you break down the circumstances around it, it kinda does make more sense. It would be another fight like Mayweather versus Logan. It's the biggest money fight and the biggest eye-drawing fight Tank can currently get. And for him, even with the size difference, he would probably see it as a pretty easy night's work. And with all this, before the news broke today, there was a rumour in about the last week going around that they might be potentially skipping the Roach rematch and going straight to Paul. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's still somewhat in the plans.
Before the controversy erupted, a heated online exchange between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach intensified speculation surrounding their potential rematch. Their social media back and forth exposed underlying tension, with Roach making bold, confident statements, while Davis offered more vague and indirect replies. This contrast led some fans to believe Davis might be uninterested or even reluctant to face Roach again. Others, however, see his responses as a reflection of personal stress rather than avoidance. Regardless of the intent, such public interactions often shape the narrative, influencing how fans and analysts perceive a fighter's mindset and commitment.
Hey yo, Gervonta Davis cancels the rematch with Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach posted, laugh out loud, buddy, know damn well I don't mess around like that. He gassing y'all up to justify why he ain't do his part of the deal yet. He really might pull out of this fight. Stay tuned. Gervonta Davis responded with, you a B, I can meet you at your school, son, if you want. That got nothing to do with boxing. We talking about the fight that's supposed to be happening, the rematch, you feel me? And he want to respond about meeting you up outside, meeting you up at your son's school. That's a little confusing, my people, so it makes me feel like this might be true. Like, if it wasn't true, Gervonta Davis would have said, yo, what are you talking about? The fight's still on. You getting knocked out. Now start trying to talk street. You feel me, my people? Let me know how you feel about this. Do you think this is true? Do you feel like Lamont Roach is just letting the cat out the bag? Like, yo, my people, Gervonta Davis might pull out of the fight. He's gassing y'all up and trying to start outside beef, but this is the truth. And if Gervonta Davis wasn't going to call out the fight, then he would have said, yo, that's a lie. I'm knocking him out, my people. You feel me? And then after this, Gervonta Davis also posted, yo, y'all could take the #1 spot. I don't care for boxing no more, my people. Pretty much saying like, yo, take it, Lamont Roach, because the next person that's behind him is Lamont Roach, because Lamont Roach just had the draw with him that everybody feels like he beat him, you feel me? Like, Gervonta Davis before this, he was untouchable. Everybody felt like he was unbeatable. Nobody was going to beat Gervonta Davis. Whoever got in there is getting knocked out. And now that all switched once he got that draw with Lamont Roach, you feel me? And after all this, Gervonta Davis also was saying like, yo, we know where you live. We'll pull up to your house. We know where you live in Marlboro. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it, my people. Like, if we talking boxing, let's keep it boxing. But he's talking street out of nowhere, and that's what makes me feel like, man, he probably is going to call out the fight. Because if it wasn't, he would have said he's not.
Gervonta Davis's supporters recognize that he's currently facing one of the most challenging stretches of his career. As an elite-level athlete, he must not only maintain peak physical performance but also navigate intense public scrutiny and mounting personal pressures. Striking a balance between staying sharp in the ring and emotionally grounded outside of it is a challenge many fighters face, but for Davis, the spotlight makes that balancing act even more demanding. But many fans and boxing experts believe that his emotional resilience now needs to rise to the level of his physical talent. Without managing the stress and pressure in a healthy, sustainable way, his performance and long-term career stability could suffer. There's growing hope that Davis will seek the right support, whether through counseling, mentorship, or by reshaping his inner circle to regain focus and control. His natural talent has never been in doubt, but how he responds to this moment may define the next chapter of his journey. At this point, many are rooting for him to channel his energy constructively and return with the discipline and clarity needed to thrive as both a fighter and a professional.